Alright, we are live. And forgive me of the background noise. I thought we'd have a little bit of music, but hello everyone. Just have a couple things I need to get set up here. One sec. How are we doing today? Hopefully everybody's doing well. I wonder. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna try something. So I've never done this before, and it's always good to try new things, right? We're doing Well, I think for now we'll just do it through. That's fine, because I'll just share my mic here. We'll have to figure out Twitch later. So I haven't played much around that, and you guys are waiting on me. It's been like. Glad that it's play in the background. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So we've got that ready to go. Everybody's waiting patiently. I do want to apologize if this is extremely loud, so please let me know. And I'm going to turn down my music a little bit. Alright, guys. So I think I got what I wanted up on the screen. One moment. Oh, here we go. That's what I wanted. Yeah, there we go. Now you can see what I'm doing. Ah, alright. I want to make sure that it's testing properly. Whoa. Yep. Alright, so I got 2 windows up for you, and today we're going to work on mockups. Now, I know that when you are beginning your portfolio for, say, I gotta pause this real quick. So I understand that our projects are coming up, and I know your professors are ready for you to present your beautiful creations, but you're like, I don't know how the hell to set this up. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. How the hell am I supposed to get this up on my portfolio website? Well, here is some couple options for you guys to try out. Now, this doesn't mean you're cheating. It's just to help those who, you know, are not huge tech savvy people, or they just don't work with this material every day like I do. And this is stuff I've researched throughout the years after I graduated from college, and this is what's helped me when it's come to different businesses. So one of the websites, actually, I'll give you at least 2 that I like to use. This is probably the easiest website to go to. Whoops. Now, most of you are thinking that's like, yeah, but that's like super easy, and the coding's like barely have to do anything. And that's the nice thing about this is, yes, you rarely ever have to touch any coding properties. The only coding that I've seen so far, and anybody who knows this knowledge more than I do, please feel free to jump in on this. I will not be offended. Is HTML. That's just the most known basic one that at least I know. At least that's what they taught me in college at the time. Just so that way, if you ever wanted to get into the technological end of it and wanted to build your website from scratch, that was like one of the first ones that I was taught was HTML. Now, another app, if you have the Adobe programs, is Dreamweaver. And that, I've only had like 1 class session of how to do that. So I personally don't know how to do that from scratch as well. That's something I'm currently working on for myself to build better websites. So, but if you know somebody from your class or somebody who is really, really good at designing websites from scratch, get a hold of them. They will definitely help you. If you know at least your illustrations and your graphic design works of how to get that set up, then you're pretty much almost done with your projects. You're like halfway there. Another website, I don't know why I deleted it. Let me go back, sorry. Is Squarespace. And that, the website for me was very hard to use in the beginning because there's just, I think that one is a little more advanced in my opinion, which is nothing wrong. You do start out with any free trial stuff. You do have options to free access of pre-set up themes for your website, so you don't have to spend a whole lot of time adjusting the settings of how you want it. It's ready to go, just like on Wix. It's just any website, any free website that helps you set up for free designs. Sorry, this is hard to word. So Wix and Squarespace have a pre-setting for free stuff. Like you don't have a premium membership; they already have your basic stuff ready to go. Even if you're starting out and you're trying to make a few pennies here and there, at least you have it set up. They do have premium versions as well, and of course, with premium, you get more access, more buttons, more things to broadcast, more things for your audience to click on. The whole shebang. It's right there. But I know at least these three things from my knowledge of what I use and like, or these for sure. My top one is Wix.com, just because, like I said, I'm not a huge coder or coding or however the terminology is there. I'm not as tech savvy in that particular area. So in Dreamweaver, if you are 100% like, I want to build this from scratch, I recommend that right away. And they might have updated it since. I know when I was doing it in college, I was just like, I don't know anything. This looks like a jumble mess. And the more that I've studied on it, it's actually not as bad as it sounds. You're just basically telling the computer, hey, I want this button here, or I want this image here. And the more that you play with it, just like what we're going to do today, excuse me, it comes by really, really easy. Squarespace, it to me has a little bit more professional looks, especially for a really nice business for yourself, especially if you're doing, I think of it as a little bit of like a bank website, or like those top-notch suit and tie kind of, and I'm not discriminating, I'm just saying it's that fancy, that sleek, very modern, very nice and clean, and that's my recommendation to it. They keep it very simplistic, and it is. I'm giving kudos to all three of these. So again, if you want these, I can put this in my little chat, so that way you guys have access to it and can get a hold of that. There is Dreamweaver. Whoops. I'll put Adobe CC. I get it, that's super expensive, but I know that if you are in college, you have a super discount going on right now, and it's paying, instead of paying $1,000 for it, you're paying like $260 a year, which is very, very nice. It's a great deal. I thought it was pretty nice, especially for just starting out. Of course, yeah, I had a side job. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I did have I had 3 side jobs just to help pay for it off while going to school. So, I mean, it does suck. That was just me. I'm not saying anybody else. I mean, there's some people that just are really good at saving money, figuring that out. I wasn't at the time. And so what helped me to work with the programs that I had at home, yeah, it was about $260 for that. So I'm not sponsoring anything. I'm just kind of helping, spreading the word, information of what you might come up against. I'd rather give you guys the truth straightforward than not at all. And then the last website that I know by heart is Squarespace. Let's see. Oh, wait, let's get you links. Oh, cool. Okay, hold on a minute. There you go. So that you guys can click on those links there right in the chat. It'll be set to go. I'm sorry if I'm so loud. I have my headphones in, so I don't know how loud I am. But let's continue on. I'm glad that my screen's working. That's great. That's another thing I've had kind of difficulties since I've used this. So a simple way that I was taught, which I'm going to give kudos to my professor on this. Thank you very much. I thought this was very helpful. I'm going to show you different background layouts that you could try. The first one that I have right here is just a gray background. You have your 4 background, and you have your we'll say your floor and your wall, if you will. So like if I was to display, for instance, and this was a current family customer that I helped out with a recent flyer that we did, and these are just a couple designs I helped them out with. I'm going to use two just because I believe it is nice to just show that sort of content when you're ready for portfolio displays. So first things first, I'd say get your documents ready to set up. It does not have to be 100% fancy in the beginning because what you're doing is trying to resize, make sure things fit. And what we're going to do is just we're going to set up a display for say different companies that you've worked with. So in this case, I've built business cards, letterheads, posters, flyers, envelopes, you name it. I'm going to show you how to make all that stuff. And I can even show you how to make an envelope with just your basic tools over here. Super, super easy. So our flyers, I think we're going to put those in the background. And we're also going to give some shadows down here later on. But for right now, we're just setting up where everything needs to go. And it doesn't have to be perfect right now. It's just kind of giving you a basic layout. And the next thing I think I'll do is his logo. So this is a business card that I currently made for my uncle. If this is totally cool, I can definitely stop advertising this, but I figured it'd be kind of cool to show what I've done. And because the flyer on the right over here that I'm clicking, that was like the first I don't know if you want to call it prototype, but it was the first design layout that I did, especially when you're giving examples to your customer. You always want to make at least 2 to 3, maybe 4 if you're up to it, but at least 2 to 3 different examples for your customers to see like what you're making. So in this instance, I made 2 different designs for different flyers, and depending if you are, sometimes your customers like to print off their stuff at home, which is great. I think that it helps save money on their end and also for you and for them. So we made one that is a little bit less ink problems. So they're not, spending so much money on ink, especially at home. If you have a really nice printer, I get it. Ink is super, super expensive unless you go to Amazon.com and you get some sort of deal, or I don't know if Etsy does. I really don't think they do, or eBay, or any website like that, or Walmart.com or Target.com. If you get some sort of great deal through that, go for it. But these are the types of flyers that I had made for my uncle. And this is his business card that I made for him. What was this, like a few weeks ago? So what we're going to do, I'm going to at least put 3 business cards out as if they were laying on the floor, or on the ground, or on the table. In this instance, we have a gray, the gradient of a gray table for this. So what we're going to do is how I made a copy of those so quickly. If you just hold Control J, or for people that are using Mac, I believe it's Command J. Put that right there. So it was Control, and then you also need J. I understand I kind of mumble and I speak kind of fast, so I will do my best to be more clear. Oops. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and downsize these. And how I did that was Control T. And what's really nice of the update of this particular version, I know you had to use Shift in order to downsize that, but as you can see when I'm holding Shift, clicking and holding this, it's stretching it, and that's not good. So all you have to do is just click on these little white icons, and it'll adjust your size accordingly. So for this case, I just want to make it so it's big enough for readability so they can see it. And then what we'll do is we're going to hit transform again, and I believe it's perspective that I would like. Yeah, let's see here. One sec here. Oh, perfect. Okay, so I want my cards to be like that. Yeah, as you're watching, you can kind of see stuff is adjusting. But see, now the cards look like they're laying down. And you can always adjust these accordingly. It looks kind of wonky, so in my case, it kind of does. We're gonna try that one more time. We make mistakes together. All a learning process. We're just gonna spread it out. And the controls on this have completely changed because I know that you didn't have to do all this doohickey. Oh my goodness. I think we're gonna go ahead and just turn those off so we can just focus on the cards. We're gonna zoom in just a little bit so we can figure this out. Maybe we do need to shift it down. And then maybe this. Oh, that's that. Yeah, okay, so we do have to hold the shift. Okay, so a little bit of difference. That's fine, because I know on the old controls you didn't have to do all this doohickey. But what I did was, I'll back up here. So what I did was I did have to hold the shift down just to squeeze it a little bit. And then I right-click on my mouse and select perspective. Hold your shift. Hold down just a little bit. There we go. That looks a little bit better. And we can adjust accordingly, even if it looks kind of wonky. So you could have an example just like this. Or if you're like, that looks kind of stupid, or that doesn't look quite the way I would display my cards. Not a problem. Oops. It's all a learning curve, ladies and friends. Okay, not too bad. You can do it that way. Since they're over here, I think we're going to just say that our cards are going to just chill over here. All right. Oops. Trying to make it as equal as possible. All right. You can do it that way, laying it down. Or we can give this thing a background and just let it float. I think we're going to do that. We'll just let these guys float. And I only want to use 2 at this point. We are going to group those together. Just Control G. Business. Those are going to chill over here. Flyers are going to float up here. Oops. And it's cool because I want these to be in front. All right. So that's our basic display. But you notice that there is a lot of stuff that we need to make it so it looks like it has some shading, shadowing, dimension, so it makes it look pretty. So what we're going to do on the flyer on the left, the white one, which we're just going to say white flyer, just so we know which one is which, and we're going to name this one blue. Oh, whoa. There we go. All right. Excuse me. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to hit Control and hover over my layer here. Click on that because I want to make a selection so I get the right dimensions for this. If you want to. Let's see. Let me show you some different ways of how to make a shadow. So you can do oh, you know what? Yeah, that's fine. We'll be fine. Okay, so Control Shift N. I have a lot of gajillions of ideas of how we can do this, so bear with me. And then Control Backspace or Delete. And you're thinking, oh no, it's gone. Right there. It's a separate layer. You always want to keep your layers separate. And then we are going to change that shadow. And we're going to select Warp. And the only time that you can use Warp is if your layer is rastered, which it's like, okay, how do I do that? So in this case, we just made it. So it's already preset as a rasterized layer, which means you can adjust it accordingly. And you can also convert it to a smart object and make your adjustments there. So if I were to do that, say I want to make adjustments separate to this, the convert to smart object, which is this one, it'll highlight this and you can double click on it and you can make your adjustments in here and it should save. Oops, not that one. It should save what you made your adjustments on this current, well, I did it again, sorry, on this current file. Like so, say I did, whoops, say I did that. Oh, that was a terrible example. And I hit save. It's going to save it onto here. Pretty cool, right? But we're not going to save it like that because that took a long time to make. So no. Oh, and it saved it that way. Well, hold on, kids. Fire. Oh, other one. All right. Well, this stuff does happen. Oh, it's because I have it on the background. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I can hit backspace. Whew, okay, that's what I was curious about. All right, we can put these guys away. Okay, phew. And now we're going to warp this background. And I'm just going to bring it down just a little bit, just for that type of shadowing. And get it as close as possible. And I want to make sure that it has enough shadow underneath here as well. And you can adjust it to these brackets. All right, and then I'm going to hit return to say, yep, I'm okay with that. You can leave it like that if you want, if you're going for that cartoon kind of look. I like to make it a little bit more blurred. So you're going to go to your filters tab up in the top left corner. Go to blur. Now, some people say Gaussian. You can say it however you'd like to. See, it'll give that nice blurred image. And we can adjust all of that up there. That's no problem. You can even make a mask for your layer. So that way if you need to make any adjustments, you're like, I don't really like it. Oops. There. That looks a little better. Get rid of that shadow in the background. But you gotta remember, you have to be on this layer, otherwise it will not work. So we make it look like it's floating a little bit. That's just kind of chilling. You can do it that way. Or another simplistic way is your, I believe it's marquee tool. Oh, no. Oh, it's not going to show me. That's a quiz for your graphic design people. When you've done it so much, you're to the point you're like, I don't even need to know. I know what it does. Or make a circle. Gaussian blur. Gaussian now. And we're going to change the opacity down just a little bit. Set it to multiply. And sometimes the other blur I like to use is motion blur, because it kind of spreads it out a little bit. I know, it looks like it's floating in the air. Ooh. And another thing that we're going to do is we're going to kind of vignette the edges, and I'll show you what I mean there. So I'm going to highlight that. Control-Shift-N. We're going to put our layer 2 on that because I can't throw vignette. That's terrible. And take my brush here and make a layer mask. I'm using these brackets on the right hand side. If you look on your type keyboard, there we go. Geez, guys, sorry. On your keyboard, right by P, there's these two little brackets. One's to downsize, one is to upsize your brush size. If you hold Shift, you can adjust your fuzziness. So if I hit the left one, it makes it fuzzy like this, which is what I want. And if you hold Shift and use the right bracket, just kind of gives it a little bit of dimension. Fanciness. There's just something that I'm catching my eye on. Okay. Alright, I saw a white line up here and I was just like, why is that not? Okay, so I think it's just, yeah, it's just what it's picking up on. Phew! Whew, excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay. I'm going to check on the chat here real quick and see if anybody had any questions. Oh, hello. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, that's so weird. It doesn't show up on the. Let me copy that into the YouTube chat. There you go. Okay. Let's go back here. Oops, not that one. All right. So we have our first flyer ready to go. It's set up. It's nice. It's floating. It's pretty. Woo! See, simple, short, little things to make it look a little bit more fancy. Now, you don't have to do it this way if you don't like that type of style. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. I am no way offended. These are just to help you guys help a little bit. So I'm going to group this flyer so that way I know. Let's see, white. And we're going to do the same thing with the blue one. Now, I'm going to just skip a couple steps because sometimes this helps me out. Okay. We're going to put it with the blue flyer. This is about the same size. I'm just going to click and drag that over. Look at that. Boom. That only took, what, a few minutes? It takes a few seconds without any commentary like I'm doing today. It was a lot quicker. Make sure you label stuff so that way when you go back and say that your customer's like, hey, I don't like the way that, oops, this is set out. Can you change it? Oh, I put my rulers on. Well, I did something. That was weird. I do. Huh. Weird. Not exactly sure what happened there, so I apologize. I'll have to figure out that setting later. Okay, so we want blue flyer. Must have been when I was trying to type in here, so. Okay, it's all set up and ready to go. Oops. What the heck? Yeah, it completely did something here. Hold on a minute. What the F? Oh. Ew. I really don't like this setting. Alright. Now we are going to go to our business cards. And we're going to do the same thing with you guys. So I kind of helped with that dimension back there. Now the white isn't overpowering, or excuse me, the white business cards are not overpowering the white flyer in the background. So it kind of helps that out. And I love that. Now I will put shadow behind the flyer so that way it looks like there is space in between each layer. If that make any sense at all, and I'll kind of show you what I mean. So we're going to highlight that. New layer. Both of them. Okay, hit this, so then. Okay. I'll do this, right? Oh, nope, you gotta do it one at a time. That's fine. We're gonna do. Okay. Oh, okay, so it's this one over here. You know what? Probably don't do that layer because we're gonna just this. Pardon me. Push it, but it does. Oh, I do like that a little bit. Let's see what this does. So it kind of looks a little heavy on that, so we're gonna change the opacity a little bit. We don't want that to be too, and we're gonna multiply that. And then you're gonna notice that, well, I like how it is here, but I don't like it how it is over here. You always and it just oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. Silly me. Hold it shift down. Or you could be cool. Go up here to your brush settings and change the size there. It's being sassy. There we go. Whoops. Shave it a little. That's up to you. These are just my suggestions. You could do that if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you guys. It just kind of gives it a little bit more depth. I'm going to show you a file of mine. Oh, I think I know what happened. Oh. It took my bar away. Oh, how did I do that? Alright. That was weird. It was super weird. Okay. I'm going to stop this real quick, and I'm going to show you a couple files that I have used back in the good old days when I was in college. Oh. Uh. Okay. A mock-up page here. So, oh, here's a perfect one. I like this one. Okay. Oh, that's right. Silly me. Oh, so many things to do, guys. Sorry. Oh, perfect. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, I can do it on both. Okay. I wasn't sure. Do you see how that display is? I made pens. I made the business cards, envelopes, letterhead. The bag, I will say, the bag and the water bottle, because I wasn't really good at designing that stuff. I did get through the internet. It is good for advertising, but not to sell. So if I were to sell this to somebody, no, I can't sell this original design. I'm getting huge trouble for that because I'm advertising on somebody else's product, so I can't quite get it. But this was a mock-up. This was for a class, just to kind of give an idea of how we can display them. And this was like my very first mock-up that I made when I was still kind of learning how to do it in school. I think if it's nice. So these are the different ones on my website that you guys can go to. Mock-ups. This one's my favorite, Baker's Express, because I got to work with a wooden background. And like I said, this is a wooden spoon I found on the internet. Again, this is not mine. I'm not sponsoring it or anything. It was just for a mock-up page. But I made the cupcake, the cookies. I think that was a biscuit or something at the time. I can't remember. It was really cool. But I made all this stuff individually. The ribbon, the wording, the lettering, like you had to come up with your own stuff for the project. And it was lots and lots of fun. But these are different ways that you can set up for your mock-ups for school. Yeah, and then here's one for a magazine. So that if you were trying to advertise for, say, a school magazine or for a yearbook or anything like that for your school, this is just another way that you can help design this stuff. Now, you can download your own stuff. Like, say you're like, well, I really don't want to get into plagiarism. You can definitely take pictures. If you get a setup, if I can find the link, I will sometime. I'll be sure to post it the next time I do these sessions with you guys. But you can set up your own little studio. You don't need anything fancy. You can just literally get a cardboard box, a white piece of paper or cloth, and you can stick your items in there, take a picture of it, and you can make your own vectors or images to use for your decorative stuff. And the sticky notes I've made on my own. I've made my own kind of stamp over here. This was a group project that my friend and I did for a class, and this was for our journalism class. And he was really good about making sure that we include where we got our resources from. But yeah, you can set up your own pictures, your own sticky notes, your corkboard, crumple paper. I did a project where I made my own crumpled paper, and oops, it was it was my own piece of paper that I got. It was printer paper. I just crumpled it all up and scanned it into my scanner at home and made my own adjustments to it and put it for a background. Oh yeah, and that was page 2 for it. But yeah, adjusting all of this to make sure everything fit, it was a pain. And then that little paper clip I did make. The pins, like I said at the time, I was not good at making my own stuff. So this was like years of practice to get even just the littlest of details. But yeah, we looked up pins. I made my own paper clip, little ripped pieces of paper. And the pictures, like I said, we had to tell them like where we got them from, but it showed how to include that. This is a website that is still available if you guys want to look up my designs for t-shirts. I do make my own designs for that. And what it is, it's called designbyhumans.com. And they give you free displays to use to advertise when there's a sale going on. Or if you have a new design. Even, like I said, these, once I've kind of gotten to the rhythm of making my own displays, I was able to use the pictures and stuff from when my designs were put on a actual person for that. This was a recent one when I was applying for a couple different jobs. I used to go to this college, was where I got my art degree, was Doane. It is now actually Doane University. You can tell how old it is because it has the year on there. But I helped at their intern. I did an internship there, and I got to help out make displays for this. And like I said, you can download your own coffee mug there. These are iPads and iPhones that I actually got for free from a website to help display my work, which was really nice. Sometimes people, when they take pictures of this, like say you're like, I'm not good with cameras, I'm not good with any setup whatsoever, you can go to websites, you can buy them, or you can see like to own the rights of saying like, yeah, I own this iPhone display or this iPad display. But in this case, they were for free. Like I said, I wasn't selling it, I wasn't doing it. It was for free to download, and I was able to insert all this information up here, and it was actually super cool. And I made my own flyer here and different ones that I helped around for Doane College. It was super, super fun. And then Creek Community, it was a small town just right at Doane College that they also need help with different things. And so I helped design a map, a couple flyers, the pumpkins, everything. It was really fun. But as you can see, different backgrounds for different things. Oh yeah, this is my newest one. Because I used to go by Moo Bob all the time. And so I have my business card, my envelope, stickers, pictures, clipboard for a letterhead. I mean, you name it. This is the kind of stuff that I want to show you. I think that's all my mock-ups as of right now. Yeah, pretty cool, right? Okay, I'm going to check on chat here because I checked on it quite a while. Let's see. Okay, it did go through. Phew. All right. All right. Enough of that advertisement. Let's get back to what we were originally doing. You gotta bear with me. I am like super excited to do this, but also super nervous. Okay. So, what? I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, guys. So I did a complete full screen. I'm not really liking that, but we'll work with it. I think what I'm going to do is we are going to have a background. I like backgrounds. just look up a wood background here. Let's go for the Google. But there is a website that I can get you to for that. You can download for free or purchase. Yeah, because that's stock images on here. And I get it. Like, if you have made these, plagiarism is a thing, so totally. Oh, this guy that says you can download for free. Well, that was super nice of you. Aw. Thanks. That's super nice. I got it in there. Oops. Alright. I'm going to put a wood background just because I work better with this than I do on floaty backgrounds. Alright. Oh yeah, and it's going to get everything else to pop out just right. I'm going to enlarge it a little bit. I'm going to scooch it up because that piece up there just looks a little off there. Oh yeah. And this works perfectly for our actual flowers that we're working with today. And we're going to take away our floaty things because it doesn't quite match up with what we're doing. Okay, so let's hide our business cards. Just the white flyer. So we're going to do the same thing again. Make a background on that. Fine. And oops. I'm going to adjust the size on these a little bit. It gives us more room. We're fine. Let's work with what we got, right? Right. I agree. Okay. A little bit so if you're looking on phones, I get it. I'm going to scooch this in a little bit. By a little bit, I did not mean a lot on that. We're going to warp it. Pull out our brackets so it has some shadowing. A little bit of shadow there, or you can just do no shadow at all. That's totally fine. Excuse me. Yeah, that's kind of giving it that nice shaded look there. So it looks like our paper is. That's it's good too if you want. If you like it over here, and you want to hold shift and like removing that. Kind of nice. And we're going to multiply it because so it can match up. And this is a small detail for me, but if we were not to multiply that, then it's just going to be plain black. If we multiply it into that one background, that it looks like it's sitting on the wood. And I'm going to copy that and put it in our blue flyer. looks kind of nice. Look at that. Boom. Done. Now, always do more adjustments onto this. And this time, yeah, we're going to do that. Okay. So now what you're going to do, you're going to highlight your layer here. So it selects this. Sorry, I'll zoom in. It'll be nice. We're going to make a border around this. That way it just focuses on. I want to try this. Go to select, modify, border. And what does 10 look like? That? Okay. That might be all right. So on our border here, new layer, control, backspace. It's going to look a little wonky. Bear with me. We are going to blur it and make it have that nice edge. See? Nothing to worry about. You can do it that way if you want to. Just kind of give you that sort of blurred out image. And I don't know if motion blur helps. A little bit, but it's only going to go this way. If we were to adjust it up and down, it'll just get this edge. So that's why, okay, that's why I like to use the other one. Oops! Oh, man. Need a mask for our layer here. This is just my personal thing that I like to do. You guys do not have to do this whatsoever. Just think it kind of makes it nice. So it makes it look like the edges over here have a nice shadow effect. And I'm going to multiply that and change the opacity down just a little bit so it's not so overpowering. And you kind of see the difference on that. Pretty cool. Blue flyer. And we're going to move it right over because they're the same size. There we go. And we're going to save it. Make sure you always save your stuff. All right. These are ready to go. Let's do our business cards. Same thing again. And I think what I'll do instead of making it double like that, since they're two of the same, we're just going to focus on the one. And we can make a copy of that. That's the beauty of this. So Control Shift N again for layer, and you can label it if you want. Put that one for the background, so that way we have to come back in and fix things. Move the layer down so it's behind it. We'll zoom in here. Oh, that's so nice. The guy that made that, if you ever want to look that up, that was Michael Krowski, and I will give you the link to that. So that is just super cool. You guys can go check out that, where I got it from. I'm not going to steal. I'm going to give you my source of where I find things. Oops, not why. Same thing again. We're just going to make that nice little edge. You get to decide where you want to put the shadowing. Sometimes you can go by like where the light hits on some stuff too. I know previous artists, especially in classes, what they did to help them out, like they got a hit a layer like this, and they're like, okay, the sun is over here, so I got to make sure that all my shading is on this side. So in this instance, my sun, that's weird. My fake sun is, I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, that's why. My lighting, there we go. That's a better word. Is up here, so all my shading is going to go down here. My shadows, there we go. My shadows are going to go this way. All right. Let's make it pretty. Ads. There you go. Now you guys can see. Select. Excuse me. Filter. Blur. Gaussian, Gaussian, whatever you feel like. Change that to multiply. Change your opacity down just a little bit. I think with this one, I think we're okay to give it just a little bit more shadow because it is by itself. Select your logo. Now remember, you can always double click on this if you want, but today, like I said, we're trying to stay all in one file. Control-Shift-N. I want black. Now, you guys will notice that over here on the right-hand side, if you follow my mouse, this area, how I can switch this. I'm just pressing the letter X. It's on the bottom left corner for you, and then I'll switch it for your background. So let's say I wanted a white background. Control Delete or Control Backspace. It'll make it white. In this case, I want it black. Your mask layer is down below right by the layer style. And there's your layer mask. Hit that and make sure you're inside the mask. If you hit in here, you're going to erase completely everything on the original layer. So that's what the mask is for. So the way you can make your mistakes in here. It's super nice. Whoops. That looks nice. Hit multiply. Change your opacity just a little bit. Oh, enter V. V is for your main mouse, which is your highlights. Your cursor. V as in Victor. And look at that. We got our displays with shadowing. It's awesome. It's great. And now we are also going to make our background. Oh, let's do that one too. Have you guys gotten to go see Panic at the Disco last year for their for his Wicked tour? Super cool. I wish I would have gone, but I did get to see some pictures on Instagram and everything else. Makes me sound like a stalker. That's nice. Yeah, that's gross. We're gonna actually highlight the background. Maybe. Nothing selected. Right. But now, haha, there we go. This. Same thing again. New. We're gonna do the same thing for our background here. Whoops, not gradient. Come on, brush. Go to the sides. our vignette look. You also do want to. This way, separate layers. Oh, yep, that was the right one. Just adjusting. One more. Like, yeah, not too bad. We'll multiply that. Yeah. See the difference? Makes it nice. It gives it look like it gave it a silky smooth table. So there's a quick mock-up, which is cool because I will post this on my website for you guys to use as a reference if you'd like. And we are gonna make another business card. We're gonna just make it pretty, guys. Now, I know some people like to keep original files, group them together so you don't lose any of this beautiful progress work. I like to do it sometimes. Original. Okay. Yeah. Spelling day is not nice. So what I'll do is I'll make a copy of that so I don't lose my stuff. And then I merge it into, or convert into smart objects. So that way it's just that layer. If you don't like doing that, and you want to make adjustments, say your shadows look kind of stupid, or excuse me, don't look proportionally right or professional looking, then that's what your original file is for down here. I always keep it on hand in case I'll mess up. All right, let's see, copy mockup. Let's make it pretty. I'm just doing minor adjustments here. Make it look like it's on the table. Somebody's reading it. Like when you see it at like job interviews, they put out those flyers on the table. See, you can adjust it. Look at that. That's nice. And I think what we'll do is we're going to put our flyers over up in the corner because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put his logo over here somewhere. Oh, yeah, we're going to change the music here. The business card over here. Now you can include the back of the business card, but just for location purposes, I do not like to share my customers' locations. So I'm not going to put where he's located unless he wants to. That's totally fine. But for now, I like to keep it as private settings. Let's get our business cards done here. A little. I'll put a couple out here. A couple more. Makes it look kind of cool. Now, I also made, save that. Let's see. Let's scooch this just a little bit. All right, now you're gonna go ahead and get his logo. I think it's this one. Yeah, okay, cool. This is where the fun begins. So we're going to make it look like it's engraved on here. And to do that, we're going to turn off all of this cool stuff, and we're going to make it look like it's in the wood. And to do that, you have to save this file by itself. So we're going to do File, Save As, Wood Background. Oh. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn back our SM logo. And just to get a better, clear look on that, we can enlarge it too. We are going to go to Filter, Distort, Displace. And you can mess around with this. I don't really have a preference. I just kind of have it preset to where I had it last time. The lower the number, the less distortion, if that's even a word, of the file will look. And it has to be a Photoshop file, from what I remember from the class that I took on that. That's what you have to do with the background. And what it's going to do is it's going to make all these little rivets inside there. Now you're thinking, okay, that looks kind of cool, but that looks kind of sloppy. Not a problem. We're going to multiply it. Turn the opacity down. Now it looks like it's stained in there. But, like I said, it looks a little jagged. It looks a little rough. You can always back up and change it. Distort. It's in your filter. Distort. Displace. We're going to go like 5 in this instance. Because that is just, it's feeding. It's filtering that really well. Not so crazy. Now you can't move it anywhere else because it's currently selecting the area that you're telling your image to go. Let's see what else we got here. So you can kind of play around with it. Oh, it's kind of cool. Soft light, hard light, vivid. Difference. I mean, you can go to town on this thing. I think that soft light kind of helped it. And we're going to back up here. Kind of hard to see. Let's see here. That's another thing you kind of want to watch out for. So I think in this instance, we might have to enlarge that just because it's a little hard for readability. Control T. You don't have to hit Shift or anything. Whoops. I did like an anti-lock. And we can adjust our flyers and stuff on here, so it's not a problem. That overlay looks kind of nice. It makes it a little wood burn on there. I kind of like that. Opacity just a little bit. Filter, Distort, Displace. There's 5. Wood background. The music I'm listening to is Hit the Road Jack by Wolfgang Lohr, Lohr, and Masquerade Remix by EDM Bot. Anybody's curious. So see, now it's all in there. Now you can even go to town and you can do crazy things like, oh, well, I want it to look scratchy, or like this hole here that it has, you can go into your settings, you can make a mask on you there, one side. Say, well, I kind of like that look right here. Take your brush, size it. You can make a selection on that. I mean, you can do whatever you want, guys. Make it yours. You can do better with settings on that, but that's entirely up to you of how you want to do that. All right, now let's go ahead. Now, there we go. Now we can see what we're doing. Our layer panel again. We can definitely move that around. I think we're going to put the business cards above this time, flyers at the bottom. Like I said, these are just suggestions that I'm making. Something over here, so maybe like a nice quote, or in need of a display model, type that in there. I mean, you can make it yours, but that's just one idea that you can go with. Yeah, I hope that kind of helped sort things out. I know this is a lot to do within just the hour. I know I had to do a lot of different setups and everything, but and then you can just type in birds go here, something fancy. Obviously, typing is terrible on my end, but you can do way better than me. At least you can play with your settings here. And I'm going to use like what was it, yellow? Let's see. I really like that yellow. You can add it to your swatch settings. Now it's always there. And now with my type tool, maybe. Oh, wow. Oh, it's saved into my library. I forgot. That's the annoying part I didn't like with the update. But that's just me. But yeah. So this is, like I said, you can type in something way nicer than what I just typed here. But there's your display model. You're done. You're set to go. We looked up a different background to use for your display model, and I would recommend, this is just me, you can either A, go check online, like I Google searched, I went to see if anybody is willing to give their backgrounds for free. Some artists do, some don't. It just depends, because a lot of people worry about plagiarism, and I fully am a believer of that if you're going to sell this stuff, if you're making flyers and stuff, I recommend you get your own backgrounds, make your own stuff, so you don't get in trouble. And I can show you next time of how to make your own wooden backgrounds, or, you know, whatever you feel like. But I hope this helped you guys out. You'll get to see this display model on my Wix site, which is currently in the process of being updated. So, but I can definitely send you the link so you guys can kind of see what I've been working on. But I hope this helped you guys out. And if you have any other questions or comments or different things that you would like me to make for you, please feel free to message down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate Emily, I think that's your name, I appreciate you watching. This is really cool. I hope you learned something. This is my actual first way of showing how to do mock-up designs. So if you need clarification on stuff, I'll definitely do that. But thank you so much for tuning in, and you guys have an excellent day.